Good morning. As a reminder, video cameras are not permitted in the interview room. A recording courtesy of Hammond Communications will be available as soon as this news conference is complete at ncaa.com/media. Media can also plug into mult boxes, which are available in the audio-video distribution area. Again, good morning, and please welcome South Carolina Gamecocks head coach Dawn Staley. South Carolina defeated UNC Asheville by a score of 90-40 in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and Arizona State in the second round, 71-68, making the 8th time in program history the Gamecocks have reached the round of 16. First, we'll have an opening statement from Coach Staley, then we'll open it up for questions. When we do questions, please state your name and media outlet before your question. Coach Staley?
We're excited to be in Stockton. We got here yesterday, and we got a practice in yesterday, and we're pretty excited about the challenges that we're faced with in this region. We play a tough Quinnipiac basketball team that we've been preparing for the past couple of days, and hopefully that will pay off tomorrow afternoon.
Questions?
Do you feel like with how successful this team has been, sometimes it's been a little overlooked kind of how young it is and how few seniors there are, especially with Elena now out?
We just approach things the same way, which is we just try to prep our players to play each game, and obviously there are a lot of moving parts from the previous years to this year, just having new faces and actually our perimeter play is totally new in the starting lineup, and I just thought they embraced their roles, and when you embrace your role, the team, your individual self shine and the team shines, and we've been able to combine the two.
Name and outlet, please.
Desmond Connor, Hartford Current. Coach, you mentioned the word tough in talking about Quinnipiac. What else do you know about them, and how much have you seen them?
Very skilled team, very unselfish team. When you look at their stats, the thing that jumps off the page is the amount of assists to field goals. It's quite incredible stat that jumps off the page, and that's a team in which loves to share the basketball, makes it very difficult for the opponent. They love to get ahead of the possession. They get you rocking and rolling. From a defensive standpoint, they're very poised and patient, and they wait until you make the mistake defensively and make you pay. So very tough, skilled, unselfish, and watching them play, not surprised that they're where they are.
Jeff Owen, Spurs and Feathers. Dawn, how is Alicia, and how effective you expect her to be?
Alicia full practice yesterday, so she's ready to go. Hamstring, yeah, bad Charlie horse.
Good morning, Dawn. Janie McCauley from Associated Press. It seems like your team's been out here a lot in recent years, out west and in Northern California. And I recall, almost 7 years ago when you had Tara come over and talk to that group. And your program's come a long way since then. Could you sort of take us through what you've done to bring the program to this level? And we've experienced quite a lot of success over the past years. I attribute that to a lot of things. I attribute that to some of the former players who believed in our vision when there was no vision, for them to believe in. They believed in the people that made up our program, our coaching staff, and then when you have that along with playing in, I know some of the Pac-12 teams will beg to differ, but I think we play in the best conference in the country. When you have that kind of platform that pushes you every day, every game, if you can get lucky and get some talented players, you can experience success
in a fair amount of time, and that's kind of what happened to us, where the people and the platform matched up, and we got lucky and got some some great recruits, and we just stuck with it. I think the main thing is you have to stay the course. No matter what happens, you'll lose some games that you're not supposed to lose. You'll win some games that you're not supposed to. You'll win some games you're not supposed to win. And if you just stay the course, success is bound to happen.
Jordan Culver with the Tallahassee Democrat. Coach, part of the success of your program has been your fan attendance. You've built such an incredible fan base in South Carolina. Is it tough now flying across the country and playing so far away from that group of people that's been so supportive?
I mean, it's hard on our fans because they have been there, they've supported at home. They do travel. We'll have some fans that will be here, but it wouldn't be anything like if it was a little bit closer to where we are. And for them, I feel for them because it's a hardship, monetarily. It's hard for them to get out here and support us in the way that they would like to support us. But at the same time, they'll have watch parties and they'll send their support, and they'll be here in spirit. But second to none. What our fans have created for us in our program, they make our team and our program a lifestyle, and I've never seen anything unfold like this in all of my years of being around basketball.
Grace Rayner, the Post and Courier. Obviously, Ty being a freshman, this has to be kind of a big step for her. How do you think that she's handling all of this?
Ty's been calm, cool, and collected all season long. She's a point guard that's probably far beyond her years. She's got a great approach to the game. She's just composed. And when you've played as many games and started as many games as she has in our league, she's battle tested. So, this stage doesn't, I don't think this stage will phase her. She'll approach it the same way, and hopefully she'll continue to have the success that she's had.
Ben Brenner, State Newspaper. You have a roster right now that basically everyone has only known getting number one seeds and getting to the second weekend of the tournament. And I wanted to ask, does that change things at all culture-wise and an approach to have players who've really only known this kind of success?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, they've Asia Wilson, Carolina Coach, they've only lost, I don't know, less than 10 games, over their careers. Maybe not Elena, Asia, definitely. It's what they've made it. I mean, we just coach, and they just bring us along for the ride. They're committed to winning, and when you have that kind of winning culture, obviously, the winning is part of it, but the culture is the other part of it. It is our leaders leaving a legacy of leadership, of how to do things, of having a culture of excellence and expectations and living up to those things and accountability. So, does it help in recruiting? Absolutely, it helps in recruiting to say, what we've accomplished over the years and to come be a part of this. But it's a lot of work. It's not easy. I think sometimes people think it's easy because, we've done it, over the last few years, but it gets harder having a target on your back and being hunted instead of hunting. But you get used to it, and you have to. I'd rather have it this way than the other way.
We'll go here and then back there.
Good morning, Thomas Lawrence with the Stockton Record. You mentioned Quinnipiac does a great job with their assist to field goal ratio. How do you try and disrupt that as a defense so they don't get comfortable in what they do on offense?
Well, speed has to be involved in playing them. They can't comfortably look you over and come off their screens and just play comfortable, shoot practice shots. When they're able to do that, they could beat anybody in the country. So we have to try to disrupt the pace at which they want to play and execute. And you have to be committed to it for 40 minutes because if you don't, they can very well win the game.
Alicia and Kayla, were transfers, and it seems like they've obviously played big roles on the team. Why were they able to come in and fit well with this team so quickly?
Well, we're talking about the culture. Obviously, they transferred for a reason, one reason or another, and they chose us. They didn't go out and start the process over again. They made the calls to us, because they looked at our program as being right there. So they were looking for something a little bit different. And when you're looking for something a little bit different, you're more apt to embrace whatever role that you're given. And they've done it, with incredible pride. And I don't think it always has been as smooth and seamless as we may think it is, because Kayla's used to having the ball in her hands. At Georgia Tech, she probably had the ball in her hands 90% of the time. Here in South Carolina, when Elena Coates was available, she had it maybe 30% of the time. Now that we don't have it, maybe she's got 50% of the time. And that's hard. That's a big adjustment. Alicia Gray is probably a little bit different in that she just takes what the defense gives her, and she embraces her role, and she doesn't have very much to say. She's just, she's one that just goes out and wants to compete and win no matter what. So the way that they've transitioned into our program is they embrace their roles. They embrace playing with other great players. And we almost, you got to communicate. You got to talk to them a lot. And we equate it to that next level. When they're all going to go and play in the WNBA, and they're going to go and play with other great players. You're going to have to, learn how to play with other great players. And if you're pretty good at it, you're going to have some success at the next level.
Dawn, along those lines, how much do your own experiences in the game as a player come up this time of year, or even reflections to playing for Olympic gold or any of those things?
They really don't come up. Our players, they relate to the here and now. I played 20 years ago. They probably think footage is in black and white, of me playing. So we just kind of, we just, as a coaching staff, we just talk about the things that they relate to now. You make analogies to what's happening on social media, what's happening in the men's tournament, things like that they can relate to. So they can't really relate to when I played.
Can you restate your name and organization just for the record? Janie McCauley, AP. One last question. Anybody? All right. Thank you, Coach Staley.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll get started with the student athletes in about 5 minutes.